I've had orgasms that I just feel like there's a cap to it. I feel like with this cap, it's because of my Nexplanon. I feel that I don't really fully get the full experience because of my Nexplanon. I want to see how my body will be naturally. I definitely have a lot of freedom right now when I have the Nexplanon when it comes to, sexual partners. I got the Nexplanon, shoot it up. My journey with taking out my Nexplanon and being off birth control. I also want to have a relationship with condoms, yes. Welcome back to another episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. I am Shaunda. Hey guys, hey. It's another Thursday down and more Thursdays to come. I hope everybody is, taking ass and kicking names. No, just rolling with the punches though, for sure. I don't really have any updates this week. I just wanted to say that it has been up and down, but we getting through. I'm just gonna hop right into this episode and what I wanted to share. I was listening to the Horrible Decisions podcast, and Wheezy on there was talking about her experience in a threesome. And it just made me think back to my threesome. Yes, I had a threesome. It was definitely a long time ago. It was an experience, and that I was just going to share on, future episode to come for sure. But with hers, I was just more just mind blown and like admiring her experience and the build up and how going out and having the conversation and having drinks and then going back to the apartment and having Uno and drinking and just making it a fun night and leading it to a threesome. But mostly with her experience and just saying, not how many times, but from what I took up from it is just when she was talking about her story and just saying, they had sex the first time, it was great, and they took a break, and then you go again, and then they took another break. She said it was a lot. Like it was a lot going on, a feel good type of a lot. And, a break from there and then happens again, It made me think about my threesome experience and how, it was like one and done, which was completely fine. I was young. I knew that I was having sex and a third person was there and I'm like, cool, it's great. And, but it's just crazy. Like, starting off, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing at all. But hearing her experience and having that, and I was just like, wow, like multiple times and, multiple orgasms was had. And I'm like, wild. It just made me think about like how natural it is and can be for some people. I feel that I definitely I've had orgasms that I just feel like there's a cap to it, and just hearing how some people have these like mind blowing, orgasms when they get in like pleasure and everything. But like, I feel like with this cap, it's because of my Nexplanon. And I have Nexplanon. I had Nexplanon since I was like 18, 19. And I knew when I first started, my mom just said, I don't want you to get pregnant. You got to find like a birth control, going to the doctors and then having this conversation on like which ones. I knew that I didn't want a pill because it just seemed like that's what all the girls seemed like they were doing. And the keep up to it was a lot, and I was like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to have something very easy that I don't really have to worry about. IUD was the next option, and I was like, nah, I'm cool on that. I don't think I want anything like, feeling, I would say. I think that was my question to the doctor that was there, like, will I feel it when I walk? And she was like, no, like you won't feel it at all. I mean, you feel the pressure when it first goes in, but after it's like nothing. I was like, yeah, no, I'd rather not have that. So we move on, and the Nexplanon was brought up, and I knew that with Nexplanon it would be 5 years. I don't really have to change it out until that time when it comes, and it just keeps going. And I'm like, you got me there. And from there, I knew that I didn't ask any questions. I just knew that I wanted well, I did ask some questions how I got there, but I knew that my one main concern was like a period. I don't want a period. I don't want to have to worry about my period. And I knew that from what I read after getting the pamphlet and everything about it, is that it would stop a period after, a certain amount of years. And I was like, cool, let's knock this bad boy out. As time went on and having the Nexplanon, I knew that my body was developing. And I feel like when I was having sex around that time, when I was younger, I just feel like my body was more responsive to things that were like sexy and hot. And I still do have those moments. I just feel like it was not as intense as it was. And I guess like part of it is like growing up, some things ain't just gonna cure to you. Like, how old are we type of deal. The other thing was that I just feel like with my body and growing up, you're just gonna have those like reactions and natural stuff. But as I am now, I just feel like I'm still supposed to have those and I know how to control them. But I just feel like it's supposed to be like a really intense feeling in the way how I was like before. But I know things change. But I feel like the Nexplanon had a lot to do with it. It's a lot of hormones that going throughout my body. I got this thing changed out like a couple times now. So like 2 or 3 times. It's been a while. Like it's been times that I had it changed out, and now that they're really in my body, I'm very grateful. I don't really have to worry about anything. But the other thing is, and how I think about it is also how the body like reacts to Nexplanon. I have a coworker that I'm working with who has the Nexplanon, and her body like is way different from mine. Because I said, I never really had cramps before Nexplanon, and I never really experienced it. So I feel like I'm cool. Like I definitely had light cramps, but it wasn't like as intense as other women have cramps and just feel that whole thing. And with her, she said, well, I still get my period and it sucks, and I still get cramps. And I'm like, yeah, no, not me. I don't like the fact that a period can change a woman's like feelings on things, like get really intense to get like, like back the fuck up, that type of deal, or like, oh my God, no, like, I'm just on my period, or just really aggravated, irritated. I see these emotions through my sister. I see these through like people who say that they're about to be on their period because they know they're like their symptoms, as they say. Like I know that like they want to eat something, like, hey, I'm about to be on my period. And it's like, dang, how do you know this? It's just like, as time goes on, I just know what my body is. And that's just like an interesting conversation. In my head, I don't like how a period changes. I never want to blame a period on my emotions and why I'm changing. Because I can say before I had the Nexplanon that I never reacted in like ways of like, I'm on my period, so like I never had that like, oh, my period, so like, I never had that. It's just been always neutral, like, yeah, I'm just on my period and that's it. Nexplanon with it, I never, had that. I'm just really neutral about it. My periods still come. They just don't come like as often. Like it always comes within like a certain amount of months, probably like 3-4 months until I see one. Is that questionable? Yes, but this is what I asked for. And with this journey, I want to say my lead up to this, my journey with taking out my Nexplanon and being off birth control and being off Nexplanon, because I wanted to see how my body will be naturally, how I can adjust to what my body is getting out with the hormones and actually having feelings towards things. Not saying that I don't have any feelings towards certain things. It's just, I feel like I'm just always at a constant neutral with how certain things go, either with just regular basis with dealing with things, not letting, future things stress me out. I'm grateful for that. But when it comes to sex and pleasure, I feel that I don't really fully get the full experience because of my Nexplanon. Maybe somebody can like help me out and like tell me how it is, but I just feel like with these hormones that just been in my body since the age of 18, 19, I have not really experienced. I haven't really got to explore my full body naturally. So I've been talking about taking it out. And the reason why is just because I really want to see how I am without hormones, without birth control. I also want to have a relationship with condoms. Yes, I am that girl to still with like a close friend, when we were together, that I felt very comfortable with him. I want to say the person before that I was talking to, and getting his conversation and how he wasn't with people before he met me. So I trusted that. But I didn't use condoms. I was very trustworthy, like, I got the next one on, shoot it up. So that was just like my whole mindset. But now I really do want to have a relationship with condoms and see how that goes, and just see how my body is naturally when it comes to my pleasure. I want to have a full experience, the way how Wheezy talked about having this threesome and having multiple orgasm, and it's, very intense for her and it's very hot. I knew that with all the other podcasts, especially Lovers and Friends podcast by Shaunda, that she talked about, getting yourself in the mood. I noticed throughout the times that I wasn't really understanding how the vibe is. But when I did have sex before, I set up my room. I had red lights on. I knew that I wanted to smell good. I put on something really nice, very simple, but still sexy. Sorry, just being taken back there. But just being in the mood and getting myself there that I was, and, having an orgasm was like really great. But it's also too about being in the moment, not being too distracted. So just making sure that you're in the moment. I knew that before. I always close my eyes before, because that's what it seemed like what I saw in porn, that you close your eyes and ugh. But now I just wanted to make sure that I'm in the moment, and then I can see what I'm doing, looking at my partner's reaction, just like, oh man, I got this man trembling right here. That type of thing, and getting there. I knew that one time where I was in it, he was just doing this thing and I was just doing mine, feeling it. But I had my red lights on. I was like, yeah, the red light special is tonight, feeling really good. And when he was doing this thing, I just looked to my lights. I'm like, these cool ass lights. I'm like, Shaunda, be in the moment. be in the moment. And it's just, I know that there's a lot of things that roll into getting to an orgasm. But I just always felt now that with those steps that I did and being in those moments, that I still feel like the next Banon had a cap on how I'm supposed to feel, how my body is supposed to react, and how I'm supposed to be, that I just feel like that is a thing. So with taking it out soon, I don't know when, I'm definitely still enjoying it, even though I'm not having sex right now. Even though I'm not, and it's so crazy because I feel like once this goes and be off, then the doors are open. No, that's a little bit too dramatic. I'm not going to say the doors are open, but I'm just saying that I feel like that's just what's going to happen. That there's just going to be some type of aura to me that I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm not going to dim down the mood of well, you got a condom? I'm like, bro, I'm like, yeah, no. So that's also a relationship that I'm ready to have, or a conversation that I'm ready to have when it comes to condoms. And I'm like, this is my boundary. This is my line. So, yeah, I definitely have a lot of freedom right now when I have the next one on, when it comes to, sexual partners, and if they get there or when they get here, that I definitely feel free to do what I need to do with this next one on. But I definitely have to break this connection. I have to break this relationship with Nexplanon and just see how I am with condoms, and just seeing how my body will naturally be without hormones running through my body. And I want to say it's very scary. I know that my period will definitely come back full force, and probably how my body reacts to things. Again, before I got on Nexplanon, I never had cramps as intense as I've seen other women have cramps. And I'm ready to experience that. I just get it. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. You don't want these. But no, I do want to just see how my body reacts without it leading to that. Wow, what a time to also try to get off birth control when it's are you sure? Well, while we still have it. It's just so crazy thinking about that too. I know that I would love to have like a conversation with another person about, birth control and that good jazz and the different ones and the type of things. That's all I think. But I wanted to kick off. Yeah, I hope everybody looks forward to my episode that will come out about talking about my threesome and probably having my friends that I did have them with. They said that they were comfortable with having the conversation on here. So I look forward to that. And I think it might be pretty interesting to talk about. But I really hope that people enjoyed this one. I thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of I'm Just Sharing with Shaunda. Please remember to rate, like, comment, and subscribe on my Apple, Spotify, and YouTube page. DM or comment on any of my social medias, but if you like to email me, you can email me at imjustsharingpod@gmail.com so I can share your experience and what you thought about this episode here. It's one of the two. Remember, you will be anonymous. But yes, thank you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Peace. Peace.